We're the only ones here, Carl. For now, anyway.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, when the first Jurassic World came out, I came here at 10 o'clock in the morning just out of circumstance, and I was the only one in the whole cinema.
I've got my sunglasses on, no it's dark. I think it's 3D still.
That's your 3D glasses, man.
Right, so there was some outtakes, so there is going to be some outtakes. This is the review, you've seen us going in there. Apparently, I need to quickly put my engine on a second. Because we might cook
window
up a bit. Just a bit of air. Apparently it's a 2 out of 5.
Generous. 2 out of 5.
Hang on. This isn't the Universal production. You know what I wanted to see?
What's that?
A graboid. Universal.
Graboid.
When they're going across the Nevada desert.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to get sucked
Would have been
down.
nice just a...
Little cameo in the background, just a graboid. I enjoyed it. I hadn't seen the trailer. You kept waffling on about, oh, one of them's going to die. And I thought, yeah, one of them will die. Spoiler alert. Stop watching this video if you don't want it spoiled. But none of them did die. But you expect them 1 and 2 die? Like the Scream thing? Like,
yeah.
Like,
well, there was a very, like I mentioned to you when we came out, there was a very clear cut scene in the trailer where Laura Dern's hanging on for dear life and she's looking down and there's clearly someone there and they fall because her reaction is terrifying, like she's just lost someone. And I thought, when I watched the film, I can see the scene that they used, but it was shot differently. So it was almost like to say, did they use that deliberately to give the impression that someone was going to die?
We've seen it in 3D, by the way.
We did indeed, which was completely pointless, by the way.
Yep.
But other than watching the film, I thought, okay, well, there should have been someone died. I had my money, it was got to be Malcolm, if anybody. There were definitely, because obviously everyone's been saying for years about how Ellie and Grant should have always gotten together, and then there was that big disappointment in the third one when she's now got the kid and she's married. It's just like, oh, well, you're just making a point of it now.
There's a lot of wraps up. Like, one of the things I enjoyed was the canister finally being reserved.
That was a nice touch. That's part of me total 5 there. I do like that. And the irony, of course.
Don't get the canister.
Don't get the canister because you might end up with a similar fate.
Well, the thing is about it is, thrown back, I've longed for the Dilophosaurus to actually be back in it, because I thought the Dilophosaurus out of all the dinosaurs in the original, when they're in the car and he turns and you actually, it's not CGI,
no,
it's an animatronic puppet, and he's got the
vicious
Dennis Nedry's like that.
Yeah.
That is just a fucking terrifying image. I don't think that gets enough credit.
No.
And obviously the Dilophosaurus popped up as a cameo joke in Jurassic World.
That's right.
But it's great for that to be back. I would nearly shit myself when I thought the Loch Ness Monster was in it.
Yes.
I really thought there was going to be a Loch Ness Monster.
I was sitting there going, fuck. Are they going to do the Loch Ness?
Honestly, I always like, as a kid, I always wanted to see the Loch Ness Monster in it because it made sense. And as I said with the story of the canister, I always had the vision of someone to find the canister and there'd be a mutation. So maybe somebody went back in the past and stole my idea, because that was, I had the vision as a kid, because I didn't like the start because the screen to me felt like it didn't open up. I thought it was quite
weird.
It was a very small screen, that. Obviously, the second Fallen Kingdom, it gets a lot of love here. I think Jurassic World was mint. I really liked Jurassic World.
Yeah.
And then Fallen Kingdom kind of didn't know what it was. It did the whole Lost World when it was too quick, too fast.
Yeah.
They didn't give enough time to dissolve and get a good enough idea. And then it went all weird, and I still think the last one was really designed for Richard Attenborough in a perfect world.
Yeah.
But again, it's a trilogy because they all link together. It's in the same universe. Because again, I don't really remember that much about it, even though I have done a review for Random and have said, oh yeah, I generally enjoyed it for what it was. But on the big scale of things, you go to see Jurassic Park, and nothing's ever going to beat the second one, the first one, for all its R.
Yeah.
But Jurassic World did that with its R.
It created a new screen for it, you know, like I say, you got to remember that, obviously, we're ancient. You know, Jurassic Park came out a long time ago, and the thing is, that's how good of a film it is. It still holds up incredibly well, and it's one of the few films that did get a 3D conversion that works awesome. I saw that at the cinema as well, really well done. But when you have a modern idea of Jurassic World, they got away with it enough to justify it being, this is a new idea but in the same concept. A little bit like Star Wars and Force Awakens. It was kind of the same premise but in a new twist. And I appreciate that. The only problem I had with The Fallen Kingdom was that it actually had quite a decent story for most of it, but then the last 20 minutes was a completely different film.
Yeah, it totally
It was
flipped.
just a total, like, what happened here? We're not even in Jurassic Park, like, element anymore. And so, like, that left a massive bit of taste in my mouth, and I thought, well, I'm going to watch this last one to the end of the trilogy, you know, they might wrap it all up. And there was actually a few things that I predicted that kind of worked but didn't. Or I always said the best thing they could have done is take away all the characters and bring in about 5 or 6, that's it. But it was going to be like an Iron Legend. It's going to be like there was a city, maybe San Francisco or somewhere like that had already been blocked off from the government, and that these guys had to get in there with the dinosaurs roaming. Whereas you do get a lot more free roaming dinosaurs in this one. You know, it's not like all contained in one place. They are kind of everywhere, basically.
Well, again, the things that in the trailer when the T-Rex walks across the drive-in movie's not there in the movie.
Not even in the
There was
film,
a lot of stuff, like you said, was trailered. The possibilities, and it'll be a very social media interactive thing where, you know, like, you can maybe click on the Blu-ray and it takes you off to this screen and it shows you these events and expand that, because they were trying a bit of the YouTube vlogger kind of thing at the start.
Yeah, that start was weird though, because it actually looked, in one of the scenes, there was a train going past, and it literally looked like someone had put a dinosaur filter on the screen. It was like, am I supposed to believe that's a dinosaur
Yeah,
there? Because
there
it
was-
literally looked like a cartoon dinosaur in the real world, and it's just like, that's bad CGI, man. It's just,
Well, I tell you what,
Poor.
was bad as well. Some of the acting was really bad. I think, like, the guy who plays the main antagonist, Dobson, who was meant to be the guy Dennis Nedry gets in the first, and it's the same
Right.
character.
Same guy,
who
yeah,
gets
yeah.
the canister, so he finally gets the canister. If it's the same actor, I don't think it is.
No.
His delivery was really bad, and so was Chris Pratt's in
Yeah.
some bits.
he totally cashed in. He just basically turned up and,
I think it was just about to leave the cabin.
Yeah.
There was some really bad delivery on that, and I was like, fucking hell. So I think with that, I think, you know, I think they protected a lot of the trademark merchandising. I think the Muscleosaurus or whatever it's called, the sea creature, gets its little cameo. The raptors I thought was really good, but again, I would have said they tried to make the raptors look, and they should have just went for it, look like the originals when they were like the alpha bred, and like the like the raptors in the original Jurassic Park are fucking terrifying.
Yeah, you
It's
can't
just
beat
the
them.
look.
Yeah.
Just the look, and then obviously we got like, oh yeah, they're meant to have wings, so that was a reference.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the T-Rex, obviously it's hinted that it is the same T-Rex from the original, which is meant to be like he's the undefeated king. Spinosaurus, we were in Smith's Toys, which is an outtake.
That's true.
And the merchandising Spinosaurus, like we ever going to get that rematch? Because a lot of fan theories is the T-Rex killed in Lost World is the baby T-Rex. There's that theory, and you know, the Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus would have been. They didn't have to bring in another big dinosaur.
What is it? I mean, even I made a joke about it, and that's actually not in the film either. You know, Jeff Goldblum says in the trailer, why did it always make them bigger? And obviously the whole theme of this film was that none of them were spliced. So literally what you were getting was a more genuine, this is what nature had developed, we haven't made it up, but there still has to be, there's always a bigger fish, you know what I mean?
I would have just said, look, bring the Spinosaurus back. It connects more to the trilogy, and then the fans get that ownership. And it, well, with the bird thing as well, I mean, that was just quirky, like, again, is it down to merchandising and stuff like that? But with all the, you know fine well, we've got the bit of the Ghostbusters thing going on there, the reunition of the old cast with the new cast, and them getting to the certain point. I think it was all over the place, and it was interesting to see the chemistry re-involved, and you can kind of see where they were going, and it is nicely wrapped up. But then to create essentially the Lost World in the Alps is what they've essentially done.
That's it.
And then they've left it there, and everyone's happy and nice, and then just dealing with it. But I think, like, I wasn't expecting it to be isolated, but I think as a watcher, I was glad it got isolated, because it felt, Jurassic Park to me Jurassic Park isn't that to me. Like the original, it's an isolated incident on the islands. The islands, it's always an island.
Limitations, you're kind of in scenarios that you're forced in.
It was full
whereas
film.
they could have gone anywhere, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of criticism about Lost World is at the end when it just goes full on King Kong, and it doesn't suit. It's everyone wanting to see it. It is there, and everyone wanting to see Steven Spielberg, and they remember that when we did the podcast.
Yeah.
Why Steven Spielberg and the reflection of that television. So I enjoyed. There were some nice scenes. It was nice, edgy to hear shit and like some realism stuff. but I just don't think it was I don't think the lead actor who was playing the bad guy was the bad guy. BD Wong looked ill.
Yes.
Either
he looked like he was on set just for like a day or two.
He did look
All
a
his
bit
stuff,
ill.
Yeah.
But again, he might be, he might just be a better actor than expected. But again, the whole, I think as well, the pandemic thing, there's a lot of deep story there, you know what I mean? Like mimic, it's almost a mimic effect when they clone the bugs and the bugs come back to haunt them.
Yeah.
But again, you couldn't see them cornfields without thinking Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters, yep, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I would have definitely had a little graboid.
I think it would have been, because if you're going to have that
It's
much
universal
fun,
property.
yeah, if you're going to have that much fun, just go for it. I mean, it's a silly little theory, but I always thought it would have been funny for Chris Pratt to meet Alan Grant and then go, oh, I remember when I was a kid, we already met.
Fucking knew you were
because
gonna say that.
Because that was always that internet theory, and I think they played with it as well, where they turned around and said, we're not going to deny, or we're not going to say it is, we're just going to let you think it is. And I thought, well, if you're going to have that,
Even if you
that
said,
much fun, just turn around and go, oh yeah, didn't I meet you years ago? Or, you changed my life because I didn't respect raptors until you told me about it.
You could have just said it was a kid in school. They could have just acknowledged it, but they didn't. They played a lot of acknowledgements and stuff, but...
And their interaction wasn't fun. You know, this whole idea of like they acted like, oh,
got
I know
got
who
everyone
you
back
are.
together,
Yeah.
split them off, and then you've got the girl with the girl.
Yeah, girl
Jeff
with a girl.
Goldblum's back to like, no, you go down
and
there.
bless him, he tried, but he like when you think of the first one, he's hilarious, but he's also just such a different character. There's nobody in that film that's like Jeff Goldblum, and he kind of pulls this off a little bit, but it's almost like when he did it in the first one, I know it's not, but I would have believed that he was ad-libbing. Whereas in this one, it felt like every line was written.
Well, again, I mean, he was that much of a character in the first one. They opted not to kill him like years ago.
Exactly, yeah. Which is why I thought he should have gone in this one, because I thought he would have even at least said like something stupid like, "Oh, I'm surprised I made it this far," and then die.
Again,
like
it's
that.
Spielberg. Spielberg's still there, and he'll probably go, "No, don't kill the main characters," because it's a
But now executive producer.
So now it's a saga because for a while, everyone said, "Well, if you look at the box set of all 5, well, you got 3." And then you got 2 on their own. Well, we're all 5. I'll go to Asda. Well, go to Asda, mate. Still not going to get a box set.
No.
You will now because they've
they
said
go
it's
as D
done.
to the eye.
Actually, right, you want to talk about... So, it's been 3 weeks since HorrorCon.
I would say, yeah, 3 weeks.
So that was at least 8 weeks at that
then
point.
8 weeks on top of that, yeah.
Where's me Battletoads?
I said buy now.
It said quick buy.
It's a quick buy, yes. I told you it's a quick buy. And as I mentioned earlier, and I'll say on record today, I have sent an official email to Zavi. If you're watching, Zavi, I've messaged you. And of course, naturally, I shall inform you as soon as it comes.
Carl, you got red carpet. Can you order this vinyl in the fucking mega sale? They've clearly bodged the price.
As a red carpet member, I can attest to you that means diddly fucking squat. You know, that does not give you any other than the fact that they will tell you about it 5 hours before the public knows. And even then,
wrong film mind today.
well, it was fun. Like I said, I don't want to say I was bored, but I was going from scene to scene.
Don't forget the hat, Indiana
I wasn't
Jones.
lost in it. Yeah, I wasn't lost in it at all. I didn't get into the story, and everyone has the Force. Yeah,
Every time.
The
Every
Force.
time.
And I made a joke of it before we went in, because of course when I've watched the news ones, it's Chris Pratt. Every time he got the hand out, and this one it just seemed to be a theme in it. It's like everyone doing it. And Grant in the last at the end, it was just like literally there's a scene that lasts like a minute way too long with just all the characters on the screen going.
Was it the same girl actress?
Yes.
Was it the same black guy from the first one?
Yes.
Of a trainer?
Yeah.
Because that was the thing, wasn't it?
Well, I had to think about the black guy, the French one, because
It didn't
I thought,
click.
like, is he from in one of the other films?
Yeah.
No, he was, him and Chris Pratt were like that
The
at the
handlers.
beginning of Lost World.
Because it was like the whole thing. He's just like me. What was it? Was that an advert or something? Well, was it in the film? And they were like, he's just like me. And they're looking at him like, and they just went, why don't you just say, he's black?
Yeah, exactly.
Just,
just
say it as it is.
Oh, no,
rather
it
than go,
was a bad guy. You know, it was a bad guy, because he turned around and goes, it's Ramsey, the apprentice. And he was like, oh, yes, he's everything like me, but a bit different. And it was just like, everyone's like going, is it because he's a black man? And you are white, what was it, blonde hair, white man, blue
he
eyes?
just didn't, nah.
It
And like,
was
I think as
clear
well,
as
Jake Johnson missing. I think he would have got a relief. He could have essentially went from working in Jurassic Park to there, and had, or even the girl he's trying to fall in love with, because I think they were just like blips on the radar of characters from the third one. So just to wrap this up here, because it's fucking boiling, the sun's coming right down.
We're cooking, like,
You're in the fucking shade as well. Jurassic Park. best to worst of all 6.
All 6. Okay, I'm gonna just do a fly. I'm not even gonna think about it. The first one, the second one, Lost World.
Whoa. Lost World is the second one. All right, you're talking about order.
Oh, sorry, Jurassic World. Sorry.
All right, yeah.
So we're going for first, second, Jurassic World. I will probably go as far as saying putting Jurassic Park 3 after that, and then I will say.
Goodwill Hunting. Goodwill Hunting.
It's so
Watch
tough
the
between
Horrorcon
this
video.
one and the last one. I'll give Fallen Kingdom 5, and I will give this one last. This one I just did not. It wasn't a Jurassic film. It was everyone was forced to be there. Chris Pratt was forced to be there. He was contracted to be there, based on his delivery line, based on his character. He did not want to be there. I'm going to go on record.
Jurassic Park.
Agreed.
Lost World. Jurassic World.
Are you going to say Jurassic World better than Lost World?
Yeah. Oh, fucking right.
Okay, fair enough.
I actually went to see The Lost World in New Zealand when the first time around. So, yeah, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. I think Jurassic Park 3 is better than Lost World.
Okay.
But I'm going to put this new one right bang in there in number 3, right? I'll tell you why. No, because it takes the elements of them two and puts them together, right?
Right.
It sends love letters, right? But again, it could have been better in certain ways, right? I'm then going to say Jurassic Park 3, right?
Maybe you had Jurassic Park 3, but...
I'm going to say Lost World and then Fallen Kingdom. The last one.
Last one. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, we are different there, but I will say that I agree with you. Fallen Kingdom is bottom of the list nearly, but I would say fresh review. I'll be happy to go on record after a couple of hours if I have a little think about it and think actually no, there was
post
something.
a statement like that.
I'll be doing an official Bon review. So, you know, you will get me official worded review. So if I have a sit and think about it and I disagree, I will most definitely record myself. You can put it in your little video or whatever. No,
I need to put this out there. There's no point in sitting on this. We will return with It's Just a Podcast with just me and Carl.
Just a podcast.
I don't know where Paul Ray's got eaten by a raptor, I think.
Yeah.
We'll do the new... we'll start prep and we'll plan it so it comes out. We'll get the podcast done.
Before we finish, we missed a massive element here, and I do think...
Dino Riders.
No, I think, and I'm a bit weird in it because I've got a bit of an issue with my ears. Music. I didn't think it was there.
Oh no, it was just...
I mean, this is John Williams as well, mind. You know, and when you consider the Jurassic Park, it's absolutely legendary for music. And this film, I would just want to put that out there. We've covered everything about the film, but I think the music should be mentioned. I didn't quite feel like there was nothing. And obviously they were playing with the themes a lot.
It's very dark as well.
Yeah.
And you can tell what's green screen. You can just tell.
Yeah.
Like the thing with Jurassic Park, and you see that set when the T-Rex knocks over the Jeep.
Yeah.
It's there. The T-Rex is there.
Yeah.
The location's there. The rain's there. Now it's just like, look at that. What?
Yeah.
Right. See you in the outtakes.
Bye.
Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling?
He's an outtake. Dinosaurs and Smith's toys. No, Carl, don't buy anything. Hello. Here's a quick outtake without Carl. I'm just in my collection room and I have a Jurassic Park display on the floor. Quick overlay of that. I'm still talking though. Now as you can see, as I remove an item, which continuity probably won't look as the way it was, but this guy, obviously quite a big part of the movie. Now when I seen the fin I was thinking, ooh, Stegosaurus, but obviously these guys were used throughout the movie. I don't know what they're called, but obviously it's part of the original JP range. It's labelled JP. And if you check out Welcome to Barcelona, it's the only real item I bought from a retro toy shop because I totally forgot about this guy. And I had him as a kid. A lot of kids who grew up in the era of Jurassic Park back in the day of having the toys and, you know, availability. This is what you got because that's the one they had, especially Argus. A lot of people don't realise, like now, like if you went and pressed in that and you got given that and you paid for that and you were like, that's not what I wanted. It was like a lucky dip. You know what I mean? So you would get two get a random toy, and I always remember him bulging out, but used throughout the movie, so it's another random outtake for Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Dominion. I think everyone for a while thought it was called Domination. I sure did with my dyslexia, but yeah, next outtake.
Hello, the dinosaur. Come on, Carl. Oh, look, that's the best film.
I'm fine with it.
This is your fault. You set him off already. Haven't even got to the car. Carl, what are you doing? You can't be chasing dinosaurs around.
The force worked.
Jimmy, coming here to get you.
Jedi. Hey, look, Jedi, see? Who needs Jedi when you can be Alan Grant?